He's going to give you some of his story, but I thought I would make sure you guys understood where he was coming from. This gentleman's name is Archie Griffin. Has anybody heard that name before? Some of you have. He played for Ohio State University as a running back, all right, from 1972 to 1975, right? Yep. And he's the only person ever in the history of college football to win 2 Heisman trophies, which means you were voted the best college football player of everybody and all of the players that year, and he's the only person to get that award twice ever. So that makes him very famous for that. And here's an interesting number. He ran the ball for 5,589 yards, but if you include when he caught the ball and ran it too, now that's 6,559 yards, which is a lot. That's almost like 2 miles. That's a long way. And he scored 26 touchdowns. And he played in the NFL for the Bengals. Has anybody ever heard of the Cincinnati Bengals? Right. And he works now with the Ohio State Alumni Association. And alumni means when you graduate from Ohio State, you are still affiliated with the college and you keep track of things and you do things as a graduate and organize things together, all right? And he also works with one of our local insurance companies still a little bit. You still work with motorists at all? I've heard your voice on there, and I listen to 1460 sometimes. And he helped out as he was an assistant athletic director for Ohio State, which is kind of like being the principal over all of the sports at Ohio State, which is one of the big, I think it might be the biggest university in the world, or it's tied up there. It's pretty high up, all right? So you guys have a very special treat today, and I'm going to let Mr. Griffin take over from here.
All right. How are you all doing this morning?
Yay!
All right. Have you had a lot of people read to you today?
Yeah.
You have? Well, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to read to you as well. You know, the book that I want to read to you is called Black Jack. Black Jack was the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. He was a boxer. Has anybody ever read that book? You have? Oh, so you know about Black Jack, huh? Okay, well, I'm going to start reading this book to you. And I got to tell you, I learned about Jack Johnson when I was a little boy as well. And I was amazed at the opportunities that he had and what he had to do to become
Mrs. Florence, please come to the office. Mrs. Florence, please come to the office.
I'll wait for that.
Our bilingual assistant is in high demand.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start the book. Again, the book is entitled Black Jack. And it's called The Ballad of Jack Johnson. As you can tell by these pictures, he was a boxer. Those are big boxing gloves. He must have had big hands, because those look like they were pretty big boxing gloves, don't you think? I mean, those are big gloves. Okay. Black Jack was a brave man. Black Jack was a strong man. Black Jack was a brave, strong, fighting man. But mostly, Black Jack was his own man. I am not a slave because my ancestors came here before anyone had dreamed of a United States. I consider myself a pure-blooded American. That's Jack. He was a pretty confident guy, I gotta tell you. Black Jack was born Arthur John Johnson in 1878, March 31 in the state of Texas, in the city of Galveston, born to Henry and Tiny, both former slaves. Little Arthur, as he was called, wasn't always so brave. Bullies beat up on young Jack until he was black and blue. His eyes were wet from crying. He didn't know what to do. His older sisters fought for him. His mother's face was red until she wagged her finger at him one day and said, "Jack, fight back." That's his mother waving that finger at him, telling him he's got to fight back.
Oh, you get it.
Huh? And fight Jack did, beating up bullies with 2 quick fists.